Zani will reap your enemies, and today I'm here to tell you how to build her best. My name is Juice, and let's get into it. So what echoes does this goated banker desire? None other than 5-piece Eternal Radiance. Plenty of important aspects of Zani's kit, such as her Forte enhanced basic attacks, count as spectral frazzle damage. Therefore, she'll easily benefit from the full set effect. Farm this up as soon as possible for your Zani, there's no reason to choose anything else. 2-piece mix and match sets include 2-piece spectral percent and attack percent. Her main animal will be Capitanas, as having this equipped in her main slot will grant her an additional 12% spectral and 12% heavy bonus. Otherwise, Nightmare Morning Aches is a suitable replacement if you're still hunting down a good Capitanas. As for Zani's main stats, simple. Go for 4 cost crit percent, 3 cost spectral percent, 3 cost spectral percent, 1 cost attack percent, and 1 cost attack percent. She's a standard attack scaling resonator, so use the traditional setup that's typically put on DPSs, and you should be good to go. However, you may have your 4 cost in the second or third slot instead, because the first slot would ideally be hosting Capitanas. As for Zani's stat goals, simple. Go for 2100 attack, 50% to 260% crit rate and damage on non-signature, and 50% to 310% on signature. It'll be very easy to reach these stats on your Zani. That level of attack can be attained on all of her main weapon choices quite quickly. You're able to get away with quite low crit rate, since Eternal Radiance has you covered for the most part, which means you can more easily use a crit damage 4 cost if you've solid crit rate substats. If not, then don't worry, a crit rate 4 cost will hold you over for sure. Eternal Radiance is so convenient for all your stat balancing needs. Try get a full set for her when you can. In order to protect the funds of the Montellis, Zani needs the right tools for the job. So what'll those be? Blazing Justice is of course her definitive best in slot, seeing as it was designed specifically for her. Tons of crit damage, easily accessible def ignore, and frazzle damage amplification, which also strengthens a large portion of her kit. The main additional things to note with his choice is that it has some diminishing returns, considering Phoebe already offers 100% spectral damage amp, but it's still very good all things considered, and between both Zani and Phoebe, you'd rather get the Goat Banker's signature weapon first. Tragic Comedy is actually really good on Zani, because the heavy attack bonus, aka the majority of Zani's damage output, is permanent, as during her liberation state, you're constantly launching basic attacks to trigger the set effect. Pair that with the general stat state goodies, and you've got yourself Zani's second best weapon option. Verity's handle is saved by how good the stat stick is. Otherwise, Zani can't really effectively utilize a liberation percent. Still better to use over the ever cheaper options, if it's your only pair of limited 5-star gauntlets. Abyss Surges are a highly serviceable free-to-play option that anybody can enjoy. The extra energy and attack percent are splendid, but otherwise, they are what you'd expect. A good free-to-play friendly weapon option that'll certainly get the job done just fine. Legend of Drunken Hero is your totally fully accessible free-to-play friendly rinascita craftable option. You'd rather use Abyss Surges, as both of these choices serve as big attack sticks, but Hero has less attack to offer being a 4-star weapon. Nevertheless, it's a fantastic choice considering how anybody's able to attain it, and it works splendidly with Zani's kit. Other options that offer Zani any form of good offensive stats will work too, but upgrading to a 5-star as soon as possible is of course going to be your absolute best bet. You have a good pool of options for Zani. Because her damage output is so freaking high, she'll honestly be fine on whatever you stick her on. But using the right choices on her can really yield you some impressive results. Yet who shall defend the vault from robbers alongside Zani? Well, Phoebe is the most integral part to Zani's teams at the moment. It's not even close. She's such a stupidly large increase to how well they perform, you can genuinely believe that the Acolyte's supportive capabilities were blessed by the Sentinel himself. You see, it's incredibly difficult to compete with all that spectral damage amp and spectral frazzle application. No other unit fills these roles quite as well as Phoebe does, as her supportive confession state which focuses on these things finally has a reason to exist in-game. The deal gets sweetened even further if you have her signature, since Luminous Hymn amplifies spectral frazzle damage taken by foes by 30% when Phoebe outros. That's 130% in total if we stack her outro's effects too. Yep, to say that Phoebe's a key Zani teammate would be an understatement. However, fear not. Using Mortefi and Spectral Rover will still work fine. It is significantly weaker than the Phoebe team, but because Zani does so much damage, it'll still feel strong anyway. Most of the Goat Banker's DPS output is dished in the form of attacks that count as heavies, which the Furious Scientist is an expert at buffing, and Spectral Rover's invited to the party to of course apply Spectral Frazzle onto foes. So hope is not all lost about Phoebe, as this team is still pretty darn good. Otherwise, if you do have Phoebe, then Shorekeeper will yet again be the most ideal 3rd slot healer teammate for a comp. What a surprise. Zani likes them juicy crit buffs, what else can truly be said? You get the highest quality buffs from Shorekeeper, that's for certain. Verena will of course work too, with her own buffs being as reliable as always, though Shorekeeper will obviously outperform her. Example teams include Zani, Phoebe, Shorekeeper, Everlasting as the Bank Lady, P. Verena, the GOAT, As in literally. Mortefi and Spectra Rover. If you're worried about Zani being total trash without Phoebe, don't be. I will say, Zani definitely demands Phoebe quite a lot, but you certainly will still clear all endgame content by using Mortefi and Spectra Rover, so if you don't have the pulls, or simply even the interest to pull for the Acolyte, then don't be concerned. Zani's a powerhouse that'll push through the challenge either way, because her power baseline is so high already. But yes, Phoebe is undeniably Zani's best partner in crime, and it's not even close. Not even a little. Yet how exactly do you play Zani? Well, you'd want to go for something like this. Intro. Skill. B3. Enhanced skill. Ultimate. Forte basic 3 times. Forte basic 3 times again. Ultimate finisher. And outro. If you're having problems with energy generation, you can opt to double intro if you're Zani. Essentially, use your intro skill, swap out, then intro back into Zani again. Also, note that when you intro in and use her skill, she'll immediately combo into her third basic attack. It's not basic 3 times, it's user basic, which will be the third in her chain. This will make the most use out of her, and is actually rather simple to execute. Yet how does this banker lady work? Well, her basics will deal up to 4 simple spectral strikes, nothing much else to add here. As for Zani's skill, she'll deal some spectral damage to the enemy and enters a parry stance. If you get hit during that parry stance, cool. You get a parry attack which freezes enemies, while having her take no damage. If you use her enhanced skill, which you get when her Forte bar is full outside of her alt state, then she'll do a stronger skill and block, while also increasing the spectral frazzle damage she deals to enemies by 20%. As for her Resonance Liberation, Zani will transform and enter Inferno mode, increasing her Forte bar's points by 50, so she can now hold 150 Blaze. Her ult also grants her 50 Blaze. Her basics will also gain a nice damage multiplier increase. Whenever she has 30 or less Blaze, she'll cast an awesome finisher move which does a frick ton of DPS, while also ending Inferno mode. As for Zani's Forte circuit, it's what allows her to consume stacks of Spectral Frazzle, turning them into Heliacal Amber. This has a cap of 60 stacks, with each stack lasting 6 seconds long. These stacks are still counted towards Eternal Radiance's 5-piece effect. When Zani's in her special ult state, her enhanced basics become available. These scale on her Forte circuit. Considering how they make up a large portion of Zani's damage output, yeah, they're important to level for sure. Her Forte circuit also stores her 2 Forte bars. Redundant Energy is her non-ult bar, and Blaze is her ult-based bar. Consuming Frazzle stacks, using her skill, and casting her ult in the first place all provide her with Blaze points. Her intro skill will have her merely attack the enemy and deal some spectral damage. Nothing deeper than that. As for her outro, she'll remove all stacks of Heliacal Amber on the enemy, and each stack increases the damage by 10%. This will then increase the spectral frazzle damage dealt by other team members by 20% when used. Confession Phoebe will be the main benefactor of that. As for Zani's inherent skills, simple. Her I1 offers her 12% extra spectral damage bonus for 14 seconds, a nifty little boost to her own performance. As for her I4, she'll reduce all damage she takes while in her parry stance by 40%, more of a nice bonus than anything else. Her I4 certainly features more value in my opinion. As for Zani's Forte priority, simple, go for this. All of her enhanced basic scalings lie within her Forte circuit, not her actual basics, so you can totally ignore her basic attacks. You seriously want to prioritize leveling her Forte above all else. Once you've got that completely nailed down, then you can start paying attention to your Resonance Liberation and skill. You can ignore leveling her intro skill as it won't do much for you. This lady works a concerning amount of overtime, so if you want to fund her vacation, then let's talk sequences. The additional Spectral bonus is a lovely additional boost to her power level, but it's really not needed by any means. Certainly a good S1 if you happen to run into it in a double 5-star pull or an early 5-star pull, anything of that sort, but I wouldn't go out of your way to get it. Lovely bonus though. A really solid S2. The additional crit is always welcome, and the damage multipliers are a neat boon to your performance as well. She was already a powerhouse before, but with her S1 and S2 combined, you're going a little overkill. This turns her Resonance Liberation into quite the nuke. All of these enhancements to your abilities of the past 3 sequences build up to turn a kit that was already disgustingly good into something monstrous. Good S3. A universal attack increase benefits the sub DPS that her teammates are offering, while being a cool upgrade to your own stats as well. Good stuff. This is just a direct scalings upgrade to your Liberation, making it even stronger. Nothing that I'd go out of my way to fish for, but definitely a good sequence. I'd only attain it on the way to S6 though. Some scalings increases to some of Zani's most important damage output sources, and an upgrade to your Forte abilities, while also offering some nice quality of life by giving her a last woman standing 1 HP fatal blow survivability. Obviously this is obscenely busted, but it's an S6, so it makes sense that it is. Definitely one of the strongest S6 units that you're able to pick up as of now. In terms of her high aspirate-based investment, she obviously wants Phoebe first and foremost, no matter the situation. That young lady is an insane increase to this goat banker's performance, so I'd prioritize getting her for Zani above all else. The synergy is as clear as day. Then between the two, get Zani's signature weapon, then Phoebe's afterwards. From there, Zani sequences will be higher value to get over Phoebe sequences. For reference, an S6 R1 Zani with an S0 R1 Phoebe does better than an S3 R1 Zani with an S2 R1 Phoebe. All in all, this banker easily has one of the best high investment paths in Wuthering Waves. You get insane return on your spendings with her. Well, naturally, the banker is going to do her best to get you interest at the end of the day. It genuinely feels great to finally have this character in the game. Everybody's been wanting her for ages now, and she's finally here at last. She's everything I personally wanted. Awesome, cool looking, fun to use, and most importantly of all, she's utterly busted. Wuthering Waves strikes yet again with a character kit that is simply a blast to mess around with. They really outdid themselves this time. How about yourself? Did Zani meet all of your expectations after all of this time? What do you think about her in the end? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, I have a ZZZ second channel. Head on over and subscribe if you're interested in some fun, silly ZZZ content. I'd also like to mention that I stream on Twitch. I stream once a week every week on Saturdays, starting from 3 PM UK time. Come along so we can play Wuthering Waves, ZZZ, and do some other fun stuff together. Hopefully this video was able to get your Zani reaping her enemies. This has been Juice, signing out, and no wonder they gave her horns. She is truly the GOAT of Wuthering Waves after all.